Hello and welcome to Two Fandom Friends, the not so stereotypical nerd podcast. Um, my name is
What?
Salva.
Why did you wait so long? You literally
Because
just sat there.
because when I do the intro, when I add the intro to the video, I have a couple seconds before we get we start. This is
Doesn't make it any.
Chantal.
Hi, yes.
This is
Doesn't
Chantal.
doesn't make it any less awkward when
Okay,
I'm just
well,
you're sitting there and it's just staring at me and you're just like,
listen, Chantal, today has been a very, very difficult day for me. Would you like me to describe what happened today? Because we were supposed to record this in
yes.
person. We were supposed to do
Sorry,
this in person.
my
Are you okay?
I have the wrong cable. This isn't my cable for my headphones.
Oh, is it working though?
It's working. It's just it threw me off because I'm like, this feels heavier. It's because it is heavier. It's not my cable. Sorry, that just threw me off.
Okay.
But yeah, you didn't have a good day.
No, we were supposed to record this in person, and I texted you. What time was it? Like 9 o'clock in the morning?
I don't know. I was asleep. And
I
then
know, I know.
I woke up at like I was awake at like 11 and I saw your text then.
Well, I got my period this morning. Well, technically, I got it
Yeah.
last night, and then everything just happened this morning. And Chantal, you know, because I know you get cramps,
Hmm.
but like, and I don't mean to be like, well, mine are worse, but mine are worse because on top of the cramps this morning, I was violently throwing up. It was so bad. Yeah, since like
Hmm.
7 o'clock this morning. So that was my day. I constantly like trying to like go to sleep to like just let it go.
Well, I've been
But
having
then,
if it makes you feel better, I've been having really weird dreams lately.
yeah, you texted me
Yeah. Well,
yesterday.
that was the one. That was the
Oh,
day before yesterday.
there's more?
There was another one. There's been like multiple. Like
Okay.
okay, so the first one was me and you went to Disney. Everything was backwards. Like we were going through the line
That was the one you texted me, yeah.
through the exit, and then the rides were going backwards, and then I fell into a sinkhole and you left me there and went to go ride rides, and then eventually at the end of the vacation you came and got me. Um, so now we're gonna bring a rope to every single vacation. The next one I had, I went on a school field trip to a museum, but a museum that specialized in like dinosaurs. And then the
Okay.
teacher had left the permission slips inside one of the exhibits. So then it was closed and we could hear like growling on the other side. So I was like, we're not opening that freaking door. And then they opened the door and you could hear things moving. So I, for some reason, decided to climb the wall. I climbed the wall and was holding onto the wall. And then,
Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
yeah, like that. But like it was much more scary because the dinosaurs were coming to life. It was like a
Oh,
Jurassic Park situation. So then I ran out of the room and closed the door and I got the permission slips. Um, and then some guy came through and was riding a T-Rex, but the T-Rex was the size of like it could fit into a doorway and he was riding the back of it basically, but it was definitely a T-Rex. And
okay. I
then
was just gonna ask, are you
he
sure it wasn't like a
no, I'm
raptor or something?
positive it was a
Okay.
T-Rex. And then I ran into the bathroom to hide and he chased me in there. And I was like, why are you doing this? And he was like, I just wanted to have some fun. This was boring. And then I was like, well, I'm sorry about that. And he's like, oh, because you're nice, I'm gonna let you live. And then he ran out and he's like, but this is the only chance you have. So then I ran out and then we ran outside. I don't know who I was with, but there were other people there. They're not important. I only cared about myself at this point. We ran outside and there was a bunch of other dinosaurs there and we were like running from them and then I woke up, so I'm assuming I got eaten. And then I had another one where I was like a detective or something, and then my hat, like I put the evidence into my hat. It was like a bowler hat type looking thing. I put the
Mm-hmm.
evidence into the hat and it would like process the evidence and tell me what was what. And then I woke up.
Oh, interesting. All of my dreams this past week have all been about Dungeons and Dragons and us playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, my dreams have been really messed up. I wish I had Dungeons and Dragons dreams because,
They've been very fun,
fun.
but it's not like the dreams were basically us sitting around a table and playing Dungeons and Dragons, not like when you like play a campaign and you have this whole mystical world. Like I wish that was what my dream was, but no, it was us just sitting around a table playing, which is
Yeah.
fine. It was fine.
That's fine because that's fun. It gives you ideas for the campaign. And sometimes, and
I
a
don't
lot of
remember
people
any
believe,
details about the campaign. All I remember
well,
is that we were playing and we were
I was gonna
rolling
say,
dice.
I was gonna say, like, some people believe that dreams are like a look into the future. So, like, you could have been like, I dreamt about this. I know
I
exactly
do
what's gonna happen.
I do well, have I ever told you about my dream right before my grandfather died? I think I have.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it
And
was so freaky.
that's so
It
common
happened
because,
the
like,
night before he died. I had a dream that he came home and we knew that he was sick. And then the next day I came home from school and my parents told me that he passed away.
mhm, it's weird
So in my
because it
mind I
happens a
was like
lot.
I didn't really think anything of it, but then later on thinking back on it, I was like, "Oh, that was like someone telling me like he's gonna come home, but he's not gonna come home in the way that you think he's gonna come
Like,
home."
okay, so I've had predictive dreams, but not quite that deep. I had a dream once that
Yeah.
I forgot a pencil at an exam and had to write my exam in pen instead, and then it actually happened. But but that was
Yeah.
like the extent
So
of my
I'm
predictive
honestly
dream.
like a strong believer that like sometimes
And
you dream things and you might
and
not
deja
think of it in
vu.
the deja vu's a huge thing too. Yeah. I'm a huge believer in that. I also believe that
Me
dreams
too.
have meaning.
Do you ever do something and then you're like, I had a dream about this. I swear. Like
Yeah.
there are sometimes where I'll be
Deja
doing something
vu.
and then I just stop and I'm like, no, not even deja vu, where you're like, I remember vividly having a dream about this 7 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Like, okay, so
I don't think I've ever had one like that or any that I remember
one
anyways.
example is the other day, Monday, a week ago, I watched this show called 911 and one of the characters had like a coma dream. And I, throughout the entire episode, I was like, I swear that I had a dream about this. Exactly like this.
You know what, now that you mention it,
And
I
it was
feel
so
like
weird.
it does happen when I'm like watching something or reading a book where I'm
And
like,
I don't know if it's just because it's similar to other content I've consumed
it could be.
or if I actually did dream it, but I was sitting there and I was like, I swear I dreamt this. I watched this before it came out. Like,
It could be. It could be. Um, yeah, so that has been our thing. We are planning a D&D campaign. Now, the more that I think about it, the more I'm kind of like, maybe you should be a player and I'll be the DM. And it's just like a one player campaign, which still can be fun.
yeah, and we can switch back and forth.
Yeah, we'll
Because,
switch.
well, I have with my friends, I have this well, I haven't played it in years because, this was back in high school and then kind of after high school and then everybody got jobs after uni. So it's been hectic. But we had this game that we were playing and the person who was playing the DM, one of my friends, she wanted to play the game as well, so she put a self-insert. So she took a character who was supposed to be like NPC
Hmm.
and then just was playing the NPC as her own character.
I mean, we could do that if we decide to do it. I think it'll be fun.
It's kind of funny because we all fell in love with that one character. We're like, we'll sacrifice everything for that one character.
See, and then that's when they turn out to be the traitor.
I think I should warn you,
Yeah.
when I play D&D, I can be quite reckless.
I mean, it's fine.
Like one time I jumped into hell just because I wanted to know where the glowing hole went. So I jumped and I ended up in hell. Um and then
Okay.
and then
So Chantel is the character, is the
another
player to
time,
fear.
there was a giant hole and I wanted to see where it finished, so I jumped and completely ignored the rope that was apparently hanging there the whole time. I didn't die though, so there's that. But
Well, saving throws.
I did disturb a water nymph witch lady, and she tried to kill me. But you know what? I lived, so
Adventures in D&D.
yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So other than that, how else has your week been?
You know, not great.
Every time I ask you this question.
Well, okay, so the week started off pretty good, and it just got
Hmm.
progressively worse. Um, because it's coming up to the end of the semester, so everything's ramping up.
Yeah.
But um I got my exam schedule.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
One of my exams is on a Saturday
I'm
from
so
5
sorry.
p.m. to 8 p.m.
That is the suckiest time ever. Like, if it
I'm
was
just
on a
like
Saturday in the morning, I wouldn't have cared as much, but it's at 5 p.m.
to 8 p.m., you
No, I
know,
feel I'm sorry, Chantal, for you.
especially taking the TTC
Yeah, no, that's not good.
at 8 p.m.
That's terrible for you, and I feel really bad.
So I'm
Cheers.
just like I literally when I saw that I was like, if I didn't go to the exam, what mark would I get?
You're like weighing the options
I'm literally weighing the options, except unfortunately for this class, there's participation, midterm, final exam, and that's pretty much about it.
in terms of marks.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
so you gotta go.
there is like weekly responses, but like all 10 weekly responses together make up 10% of the mark, so I don't really count that.
Yeah, that's you gotta go then.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chantal. You
I'm
can't
so
take
sad.
the L on this one.
I can't do it.
Well,
I literally sat there. Okay, and it's funny because I was in another class when I found this out and I was sitting there and I was staring at this and I looked at the person beside me and I was like, is this real?
is this real? Please tell me it's not, because I can't. I'm
And
happy that I don't have exams.
I wish I didn't. I
Sorry,
normally don't, but this semester for some reason I have 3 of them.
sorry. It's just the way.
Yeah,
It is the way.
this is the way. Have you been watching season 3 of The Mandalorian?
I have not, I gotta be honest. I watched episode one and I haven't watched the last two episodes.
There's only been
Three.
2. I don't know. I watched however many are out.
Like, okay, when this episode drops, episode four of The Mandalorian is released. But as of recording
But it's
this
so
episode,
good.
three episodes have dropped. I just haven't, you know what it is? I have been so invested in Critical Role that that's all I've been watching. I've been watching
You
the
need
second
to
season.
watch
Yeah.
The Mandalorian because it gets so good. Grogu,
Don't
my
say
precious
anything.
my
I got it.
precious little
Yeah.
angel, things happen with him and you need to see it. It's
Okay.
the cutest thing ever. It's like
Okay.
I literally was like
I will. I will.
I
Maybe
cried.
tonight
I mean,
after
I didn't
recording
cry.
this.
I cried at the episode of 911 on Monday because that was like amazing. It was so good. But I mean, I almost cried because of Grogu because he's so cute. Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, we should. Oh, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming to the end of like, for those of you who don't know, we basically pre-planned all of the episodes up until like the end of April for this show. So we're coming close, we're coming close. Would you want to watch Aragon?
When is it coming out?
No, it's a movie that already came out in like 2006.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the show that's coming out.
I am I'm curious. Well, so here's what I want to do. I want to read the book again,
Okay.
and I wanted you to watch the movie, and then I can like be the person that read the book and tell you how wrong everything in the movie is
Okay.
because it's so wrong.
Okay, here's my like I like that idea, but here's my opinion on book to movie adaptations
Okay, go
is
ahead.
they're never gonna be 100% accurate, and I find the ones that are more accurate from book to movie aren't as good.
Here's the
I
thing with
I
Aragon, though.
but 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 I always find that they're never as good as the book. And the thing
Yes.
is, it doesn't matter what you do because you have preconceived notions of the story going in, the movie is never going to be as good as the book. And
Here's the thing. I watched when the movie first came out, my school took us to see it. So we were in like what, fourth grade? We never read like I never read the book before watching the
mhm,
movie. The movie came out, loved the movie, bought the book, read the book, and was just like, what is wrong with the movie?
but here's the thing though. Like
Uh-huh.
I feel like it's unfair to compare movies to books because they're always going to be
That's
different.
true.
Because what makes a good movie does not make a good book.
That's true.
So, I mean, I like comparing them because I like to see how they're different, but I
Yeah.
also think that
So we'll approach it like that.
we can't say the movie is bad because it's not book accurate.
That's fair. We'll do it in a way where we're
But
not saying it's
but
bad or
that again,
good.
I do like comparing things. Like,
Well, let's do it. We'll do it. We'll watch it. We'll both watch the movie and I'll read the book.
we
And
compare
I'll
books to movies, Disneyland to Disney World, oranges to apples, Chantal to Salva, we compare things.
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
better, by the way. I'm the better one.
When I am DM
You're like,
in your D&D campaign, I am going to make your life a living hell.
okay, I'm already gonna be doing that, so good luck with that.
Sounds like self-conflicted,
Bro, I jumped into hell once. Like, I don't think you can get
I'm
any
gonna
much
make you fight a
worse.
dragon at level 1.
Oh no.
Level 1 character, first boss battle,
Not if I
dragon.
seduce it first.
Gotta
One
roll
of
a
one of the players
persuasion
in
check
my
for that.
one of my players in my D&D campaign did that and succeeded.
Really? Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see.
We honestly, when that happened, we were like, how did that
Natural
happen?
20.
We were like, how?
Okay, so I'm gonna put that on the list. Aragon is going to be one of the next ones that we watch after we're done with all the ones we've already planned.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into
Let's get
today's
into it.
um movie.
Yes.
Is that Groot in the background?
It is.
Sorry, I just saw a face and I was like, Ghost or Groot?
I think he's been there the whole time.
Has he?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think you just noticed him. Or
I
maybe
haven't
my camera's angled a little bit differently today.
I haven't noticed him, but
He's, yeah, my little.
okay.
It does look like a ghost from here.
Yeah. I just saw the face at first and I was like, Ghost? No,
Don't
Groot.
turn around now.
Bro, like earlier today, I didn't realize my brother was still in the basement because I was playing video games, and then
Mhm.
he came out of his bedroom and scared the shit out of me. Okay. Anyways,
Anyways,
back to the movie.
yes, so we watched Now You See Me. So spoilers for Now You See Me.
Spoiler alert. You have been warned.
Even though it's like an old movie.
It is, but
I
spoiler
mean,
warning.
we don't know what people's lives are like. Maybe they haven't had the time.
Yeah. And it's the twist in this movie is pretty big twist, so we will be talking about the twists.
I saw this movie in theaters.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm. In high school when it first came out.
How did you react, may I ask?
Um,
Was
I was
everyone in
well,
the audience like,
yeah, well, I was with I mean, okay, when I saw it, the audience wasn't too big because it had been out for a little bit.
okay.
Um, but I saw it with a couple of friends from school.
Hmm.
The main group. that we
Yes,
had.
yes.
We all went, and then none of us saw the ending twist coming.
I didn't
And then
either.
we walked out of the theater being like, "Oh my God, that ending, it was so good." And then we got in the car and we were talking about it, and because we were too young to drive at that point, I mean, not that any of us got our driver's license at 16, but still we couldn't have gotten it at that time if we wanted to because we were like 14, 15,
Yeah.
I think. I don't know how old we were. We were young, is the point. And then we spoiled it for the person driving because we were talking about it the whole way home. And because we were kids, we did not
You
think
don't like,
about
yeah,
we didn't think about the people around us. We were
you
literally
don't.
like we were like, "Oh my God, like, did you see Mark Ruffalo's character do that thing? Yeah, that was so cool." And then they were like, "Well, now I guess I don't need to watch the movie."
Shit. I'm just gonna pull up oh, 2013. So yeah, we would have been like,
Grade 10? Grade, yeah, grade 10, grade
yeah,
11.
yeah, yeah. So we would have been 16-ish, 16
I
going
would
on
have been
17.
15.
You are 16 going on. So anyways, yeah,
Yeah, so like we spoiled it.
poor driver.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
but we were impressed by the movie then. Well, I mean, at least I was. I mean, I know we were all were. We were talking about it for like weeks. But I was impressed by the movie then. I'm still impressed by that movie now.
so am I. Like
Like
it's a good movie. I
it's a good movie.
remember I watched it I think around the time that the second movie was coming out, but I haven't watched the second movie for some reason. I don't know why.
The second movie wasn't as good as the first. It was
Okay.
okay, but the first one was like leagues better.
Yeah. Because I think obviously, with the second one, like there may be some kind of a twist based just,
Mm.
because you're expecting it now after watching the first, excuse me, after watching the first one.
Yeah, and like the thing is, the first one came to such a nice, like natural ending
Hmm.
that the way that they went with the second one almost didn't make sense to me.
I was confused why they decided to do a second one. I mean, I get it because it was a very popular
Like
movie and obviously
they
like
the
sequels
way
sell, but the way they ended the first movie, it came to a good conclusion.
Yeah, and I would have and I was excited for a second one because I felt like the story had so much potential to continue, but they
Mhm.
went in such a weird direction that it didn't work.
That's fair. I don't
The
have an opinion on the second one, so
But you know what? We're talking about the first one. So
yeah.
let's get
We'll
into
watch
it.
the first one. So the first thing I want to point out
Okay.
is the soundtrack. The minute it starts playing, you're like, oh, it's
Yep.
just so good. It works
It's
so
amazing.
well.
It's
It's like
amazing.
the way that they did the music, it's like a mystery anticipation type like feel to it
Yep.
that it just worked so well for this.
It did. And like a lot of the tricks that they used in the movie, because when I was in high school, I was obsessed. So I watched a lot of the interviews. A lot of the tricks they tried to keep as real as possible. Now, obviously, they use movie magic for a good majority of them, but a lot of them are tricks that can actually be performed.
Hmm.
Like the whole card throwing thing that Jack Wilder does.
Yeah,
The actor actually tried to had to learn how to do that
that's cool.
by
Yeah.
throwing the cards at bananas and cutting the bananas. So it's like yeah, it's like cool things like that where they actually try to keep the magic as real as possible,
Hmm.
but also they tied in almost a mystical part of it with the whole thing with the eye and everything, which was really
That
cool.
is so cool. And I never like really thought that something like that could be like,
Gave me Illuminati vibes.
yeah, Illuminati, especially like, and then with the tarot cards, that was the other thing
Yeah.
I want to point out. So each of the tarot cards that everyone has represents each of the characters perfectly.
Yeah,
So,
but Yeah. Yeah. But I
And
see
they
like
kind
a
of like foreshadowed, especially with the one character,
with Jack
with
Wilder with
Jack.
death. But here's the thing though. In tarot card, which I thought was kind of like interesting the way that they did this, is death doesn't actually mean death. It means like rebirth or something like that. So it's kind of interesting that that's where they went with that particular tarot card for him.
But I think you
Because
can kind of say
even though he didn't technically die and he was kind of like reborn,
yeah,
it was just a very interesting thing to put into the film.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So,
I'm not saying I hated it. I just when I first saw it and then he died, I was like, what a cliche. Have the tarot card of death be this big like negative omen when it really isn't.
yeah. Okay,
But then he didn't die, so it was
he
fine.
didn't know. It was all an
It's an
illusion,
illusion, yeah.
which is what this whole movie is about, like illusions and nothing is as it seems.
Yeah.
Like even when you try your hardest to look in between the cracks, there's still something that you
Yeah.
can't see.
And I mean like, hey, why can't I be in a place where there's millions of dollars falling from the sky?
I wish.
I wish.
I wish. Okay, let me just read through whose tarot cards was whose. So the lover was Danny's. Death was Jack, as we already talked about. The hermit was Merritt. And the high priestess was Henley.
Hmm. Which, okay, so the very first shot we get of Henley, she's doing that like escape the water thing
That's piranhas.
with the piranhas. How traumatizing would that be for the people in the crowd?
So I was read somewhere that the
She was
actress
actually
she
drowning at
was
one point.
yeah, and but because her
Hmm.
character was supposed to be banging on the glass anyways, they didn't think anything of it.
Yeah, they were just like, "You're a really good actress," and I'm like now every time I watch that scene, I'm like, she looks directly in the camera when they do a close up of
Yeah.
her face. She's looking like she's staring in the camera, like she's giving it eyes, and I'm
Oh
like,
damn. I
that's
didn't really
scary.
notice that. Yeah. I gotta look back now.
Yeah, like no, she looks directly, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's creepy, because like
Yeah.
that whole scene, like
It's
scary.
stressful.
It's traumatizing. Like, could you imagine being in the crowd and then seeing someone getting eaten by piranhas, and then she's just standing over there being like, this trick is terrible," or whatever? I'd be like suing for emotional compensation. I would not be able to survive that.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good movie.
It was like it's
And
and
like
you wait
all the tricks did not happen the way that I thought they happened. Like I'm like, oh, this is not like when Jack died. I'm like, I know he's not dead, but I did not think that that's how they faked his death.
hmm
And then when they stole like the vault, I was like, okay, obviously they're gonna steal the vault, but that's not how I thought they were gonna steal the vault. So like every single time, I'm like, okay, this is not like what it seems to be, but then it's completely different than what I had
But
thought.
that's what makes it really good because you're not when you think you know what's gonna happen next, it's not.
Not, yeah,
And that's what makes it a little bit more enjoyable of a movie. Like, I don't like watching movies where you can clearly predict what's gonna happen next.
yeah.
Because it,
And
it
like
ruins it.
even though some parts were predictable, there was enough of it that wasn't predictable that made it good. Like, okay, the I was laughing so hard at the parts where they would be like, "That's BS," and then they'd start like playing the what was it, the concerto or whatever it was.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that part, just as that like just showing up throughout the entire like
It was a running
film.
gag, yeah.
Yeah. And then like the I mean obviously the very end twist I did not see coming with
No.
um Mark Ruffalo's character.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but his
Um,
character.
oh, Dylan Rhodes.
Yeah, I did not see that coming, but I guess I should have because now watching it, knowing about the film
Yeah.
and having seen it, I'm like they dropped so many hints, like because Dylan talks about the guy in the safe who didn't get out and he was a magician, and
Yes.
It's like throughout the entire film they talk
He
about him,
left
and it's
hints.
his
Yeah, they
dad.
left hints.
And I was like, I never noticed that before, but now I'm like seeing it all over the film, and it should have been obvious, but my
But
like,
again, that's what
16-year-old
makes it
brain did not pick up on that.
but that's what makes it so good, like the first time watching it. Obviously, the second time watching it, you're not gonna have like the same effect. But when you're watching a
Yeah.
movie like this for the first time, it's like the fact that they were hinting at it the entire time, but you don't pick
Yeah.
up on it at all, is what makes the twist so much better.
And it's so good. And it was
Because
like
because
and it
even
was
like
perfectly timed too. Like it was like the movie was perfectly paced and everything worked out, and it made the end goal and the ending of the movie so much better.
yeah, I agree. And again, like you don't see it coming, and that's what's so great about it. Because you keep thinking like, okay, who is the fifth horseman? Because they kept
Hmm.
talking about, I think the first time they mentioned the fifth horseman was when they were in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So after
Or they
that,
were
you
they
kind
they
of,
refer they were like, "Oh, who's the person up top? Who's the person in control?"
yeah. So like after that moment, you're kind of thinking, okay, well, who could it be? Could it be their
Hmm.
manager? But then that whole thing with them taking the money from
His
the
money.
manager, you're like, no, okay, it's not him. Could it be Thaddeus Bradley, Morgan Freeman's character, who is his whole mission is to debunk magicians?
Yep. Which I thought was funny at the end there where they framed him, put all the money in the car, and then he got arrested. And I'm like, what kind of like these police have got to be really stupid because what kind of man puts, like millions of dollars worth of money into the trunk of his car to the point where he can't even drive it because the money's exploding from all corners of the car.
Hmm.
Like
I mean, at the end of the day, they found the money, so they just framed him. So they're like, clearly it's you. Um,
they're just, not smart.
no, no.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I don't really know what else to talk about this movie, only because like
Like all the tricks, how did you feel about them? Like throughout the entire film? How did you feel about the way that they portrayed them? Did you think that they were like grand enough?
I think well, the first one that they did on that stage where they stole the money from the bank in Paris, I thought that was a really good trick. Like you can't get bigger than that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
And just the whole like mentalism thing too that Merrick would do with the like hypnosis or whatever. I
mhm.
thought that was like a really cool way to show that type of like
Because you don't really
magic.
hear about that kind of magic either.
Yeah, you hear about hypnosis, but I usually only hear it in the way of
Like look
therapy.
into
Like,
the
well, not
yeah.
even like therapy, like people doing like trying to figure out repressed memories or, trying to come over PTSD through hypnosis and stuff like that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I thought like his tricks were really good too. Um, I will say Jack Wilder's character kind of felt flat for me
Oh, he
until the
was my
car
oh, he was
until
my
the car
favorite.
accident. Only because like I felt like the attention was mainly pushed towards um Dylan no Daniel Henley and Merritt.
But also, I feel like that could have been intentional because when he dies, we're not thinking about him.
That's true. Like
And
you're not
then,
thinking he's going to be the one that
yeah,
dies. Because
yeah.
you always think with movies like this that if they're going to kill a character, they're going to kill one of the favorite ones because it leaves a more emotional impact.
Yeah, but listen, when I was in high school and this movie came out, I had a crush on Dave Franco who plays, I think it's Dave Franco who plays,
Yes.
but this
Yeah.
was a while ago. This was when I was like 16. I had a crush on him. So he was my favorite character. And when he died, I was so upset. And then he wasn't dead, so I was happy again. It was a roller coaster for me.
That's fair. That's fair.
I was literally like, no, my favorite
No,
character is
don't go.
dead. And then he wasn't dead. He was just robbing, people.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were we talking about again?
Um,
It was a good movie.
We were talking about the magic tricks
Oh
and
yeah.
whether or not we felt like they were grand and spectacular.
Well, I thought they were great. I thought they fit. Like the I felt that there were ones that they did that weren't so grand and spectacular. Like obviously, I mean, yeah, but those ones like they fit in with the narrative at the point that they were doing them.
Hmm.
Like they weren't like, "Oh, this is our final trick and we're going to ask you to pick a card, any card, and it's
Yeah,
it's a jack or something."
like they worked. They
Like
worked.
they worked and there was like the tricks that they used at the points that they used made sense.
Hmm.
And it worked for the scene that they were using them in.
Yeah, because then they would call back to those, like the one with the rabbit in the
Yeah.
box, the whole mirror thing, the
And
way
they
that
like explained they
they did.
explained everything that they were gonna do in the entire film in that one magic show.
Yeah, they did.
Hmm.
And they still got away with it, which is
Yeah.
fun.
And I found it kind of funny how they took like magic, which is something that we don't normally think of as dangerous, and made it like dangerous. Like Jack with the flying like cards, using them as like throwing knives almost, and like whipping them at
Yeah,
people. And then
yeah,
like, yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
yeah, I agree. I think, like you said before, they did put in movie magic into some of them.
They
And
are they very clearly did. Like
yeah,
I know for a fact that, Dave Franco wasn't whipping cards at Mark Ruffalo.
no,
That
no.
wasn't what happened. But
Or
they
the one
taught
where she was in the bubble.
oh yeah.
Like
Oh
I
yeah, the one with
definitely
the
was
bubble,
there.
obviously, yeah. But like they tried to take magic tricks that from real life and put them into the film, but obviously not a lot of them translate.
Hmm.
So they did take liberties, but it was very interesting how they got their inspiration from actual magic tricks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, how would you rate it if you have
um,
nothing else to add?
yeah, I don't know because it's one of those movies like we've mentioned before with other movies like The Hitman's Bodyguard where you don't really have a whole lot to talk about when it's such
Or
a linear story. Like, and I
yeah.
know with this one, there are some twists and turns to it, but at the end of the day, it's a heist movie. The objective of the FBI agents was to get the magicians
Hmm.
and put them in jail because they stole money from
Money.
the bank, you know?
And from their investor.
Yeah. So
But it's
at
like,
the end of the day, it's not like it's a complex movie like, oh, they did this and then they did that and then oh, the reason why. And
yeah,
there really were no loose ends. Like there was a reason why they stole that money.
yeah, and then like it's like with sorry, I lost my train of thought. Give me a second, I will find it again. Okay, it's like with like Hitman's Bodyguard, where they knew what movie they were, so they weren't trying to be too big for their britches. They weren't trying to, I mean, I know it's magic, so it's kind of complicated, but it wasn't anything overly complicated. Like as an audience member, like even though those twists and turns was like whoa, mind-blowing, right? It wasn't too much for me to handle. Like
Yeah.
some movies and TV shows make their twists and turns so complicated that I can't follow them,
Hmm.
but this made sense to me.
Because like
Like
even
it
if
was very
at
much
the
a linear
moment,
story.
yeah, because even if at the moment like it seemed complex, they explained it later on in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, they explained it like three times throughout the movie, just we
Yeah,
didn't realize that they were explaining it.
exactly.
But it's very interesting that movies like this, like they have like, and it's like we talked about a little bit with Hitman's Bodyguard, is the storyline and the plot is really good. The characters individually are fleshed out, and we get enough of the characters that we don't really need to go into huge amounts of detail about them
Hmm.
because we understand who they are already.
Yeah.
And then that just makes the movie so much more enjoyable because you don't have to be thinking constantly.
That's true. Like I watch movies to enjoy them. I watch shows to enjoy them. I don't want to
Yeah.
be like thinking like trying to
Like,
connect the
yeah, I don't
dots in
want to be
my
doing
brain,
math. I don't
right?
want to be like, okay, if
As
this
I'm
person was
watching.
there, how did they get there in time for this person to do the thing and this person to switch places with that person and then for this person to suddenly become that person's mom and that person to become that person's dad and then now they're their own grandparents and then you just get confused.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. So I think like movies like this, it's straightforward.
Hmm.
Um, I'm I'm curious because it's been a while since I've watched this movie, and we're gonna be watching it in a couple weeks. The Da Vinci Code.
I love the Da Vinci Code so
It's been a really long time since I've seen that movie, and I know that's also another heist movie and like a whole puzzle in itself. So I'm
It's so
curious to
good.
see how that one um goes
And
like
this, and I
in
think
the
we're watching
sense
the
that
second
like
one too. The second one as well
no, just the
for the
first
div
one.
Oh, is it just the first one?
Well, we've
Oh
only planned
no.
out to do the first one. We could do the second one.
That's so tragic because Ian McGregor's in the second one.
We could watch the second one. We'll plan out after because it's literally the Da Vinci Code,
Wait,
and then after that we have
I
to
have a
play.
question. Is it pronounced Ian McGregor or Ewan McGregor? Because I've heard it both ways and I don't know which one is correct. Because it's
Let
EWAN, right?
I think it's you and McGregor.
Hold on, let's find out. Let's see what Google says. How to pronounce. Oh, it's like the number one Google.
McGregor. Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, you and McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. Okay, so I've been pronouncing his name wrong for like ever. Um, but
I've never heard
I
anyone say
flip.
it as Ian.
I don't know what I was watching, but I heard it as a kid pronounced Ian, I and then I was like, oh, why is everybody pronouncing his Ian that way? Like
That's fair. That's fair.
it was like I don't know. It was when I was younger, so I was like in elementary school, and there was like an
Yeah.
interview I was watching, and they were like Ian McGregor, and I was like, oh my God, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then ever since then, whenever like up until I learned just now how his name's actually pronounced, I was like, why is everybody pronouncing Ian that way? And I just assumed it was like the Scottish or Irish way to pronounce it.
Oh, maybe. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is I'm curious to see how that one plays out compared to other heist movies like this one that is more, it's not as complex to
Yeah,
follow.
yeah. Well, the Da Vinci Code is quite a bit more complex, but it's also a really good movie. So, yeah, we'll be able to
Do you
see
think
and
I'll have
compare it.
time to finish reading the book before watching the movie?
I
It's a
don't know.
pretty big
I
book.
don't know. You have a lot more time than I do, and I don't gauge time very well.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll see.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay,
see.
anyways, how would you rate the movie?
Okay, I'm going to rate the movie 8.5.
Okay, I was gonna say 8 or 7. Or maybe 7.5, somewhere in there. Because it is a really good movie, and like Hitman's Bodyguard, it's something that I would watch just to watch to have something on. And for me, at least, it doesn't take a lot of focus to understand kind of what's going on because they explain everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they could do a lot more. I feel like it'd be a good TV show, actually.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would be a good show. That would.
Yeah. So I'd rate it like a 7.5,
That's
7 to
fair.
8, somewhere around
That's
there.
fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is it for this week's episode then.
Yep.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Follow us on social media at Silvermatic Studios. Go onto our website, silvermaticstudios.ca. And next week we're gonna continue on with Wednesday,
Yep.
episode 6. Right? Yeah,
Yep.
episode 6. We'll see, Chantel, because it's getting
Okay, and
rough.
you know what I realized too that you should probably try? Um, when I was watching Wednesday, I was home alone because my parents were on vacation without me.
Uh-huh.
And I did a Conjuring movie marathon and then I watched it. So it was pitch black, it was dark, it was like midnight. So here's what you're gonna do. and challenging you. Find some place alone so you're home alone. Watch all the Conjuring movies in order, and then at midnight watch Wednesday, and I guarantee you it will be a little bit scarier than it is now. And have all the lights off inside the house.
Chantal, you know I hate horror movies.
I know that's why it would make Wednesday so much better. Like
No, I'm good. I'm good. I will say when Halloween comes, we'll watch a horror movie. I'll force myself to watch a horror
yeah, we'll
movie.
TikTok it.
But I'm not. I hate horror movies and you know this.
It's okay. I'll protect you from the ghosts and demons
Which
and
is
everything.
some people find it weird because I do love like paranormal shows, but it's because I love learning about the history behind it and seeing if they can actually catch activity
Well, we're
rather than
gonna
watching the movies and stuff like that because it's fake, but they
over exaggerate it,
they
yeah.
over exaggerate it to the point where you're like terrified to sleep at night.
Well, we'll go ghost hunting one day eventually.
One day we'll see
At some
how well
point.
that goes.
We'll see at some point.
Yeah. Anyway, so then after Wednesday, we are going to watch. You ready for the Chantal?
Oh my God, I'm scared. I don't remember. Is it Beauty and the Beast?
No,
Because I know that's on our list.
it's on our list, but it's
Oh
not
no, what
that.
did we choose? Oh my God. I have a bad feeling.
We are going to watch Twilight.
Oh, I forgot. I keep forgetting that that's on our list.
So we're gonna watch Twilight the week after next. You know what's funny? Um, my sister's boyfriend has never watched Twilight, so he was over one night and we made him watch the first Twilight movie, and he was just cringing the entire time. And
Yeah.
that was the first time I watched it for like the longest time, and
Since
I
high school for
cannot
me.
believe it's before high school. It was like
I haven't
like eighth,
watched it. I haven't
seventh
watched it
grade.
since high school, and the only reason why I watched it in high school is because the last movie was coming out, and I hadn't watched any of them except for the first one. So I was like, you know what? I might as well like watch them all. And then I watched them all, and I was like, oh my God, this is great. And now, like, whenever I
You
see
watch
like
it as an
clips of
adult,
it, I'm
you're
like, this is
like,
so bad. This is so bad.
anyways, so we're gonna next week is Wednesday, episode 6. Week after that is Twilight, so stay tuned for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you again. I already did the spiel. Like, share, subscribe, follow us, social media, website. Yeah. Um, until next time.
Toodles.
Toodles.